Inflation punishes cash. Taxes punish ignorance. And compound interest only works for people who understand time and consistency. If you don't know how to work these forces together, you'll almost always feel like you're running uphill. Your financial past does not dictate your financial future. You can undo 5 years of bad habits with 6 months of aggressive focus, because the math works if you do the work. I've reviewed hundreds of client portfolios over the last few years, and whether someone makes $40,000 or $400,000, I keep seeing the same pattern in people who stay stuck, stressed, and broke. And I'm not guessing here. I'm telling you what the data shows me every single day. There are 6 invisible habits acting like a permanent tax on your future, quietly draining your momentum and locking you into the middle class trap. And most people never notice because none of them actually feel dramatic in the moment. Number 4 alone is costing people well over $10,000 a year, and they swear they're good with money. Most people think financial struggle is an income problem, but as an advisor, I can tell you with certainty, it's almost always a behavioral problem. I've seen 6-figure earners living paycheck to paycheck and 5-figure earners slowly building real wealth. And the difference is not luck, intelligence, or hustle. It's habits. The first habit is lifestyle creep. And it's the most socially accepted form of self-sabotage that there is. Every raise gets absorbed by a nicer car, a bigger apartment, better vacations, and more convenience. So your income goes up, but your freedom stays flat. We call these golden handcuffs because the higher you climb, the harder it becomes to step away. And the rule you need to follow is simple and should be non-negotiable. Income increases fund investments first, not upgrades. And if you can't freeze your lifestyle for 6 months after a raise, you don't actually own that raise. The second habit is treating credit like income. And this one is brutal because it feels harmless. Credit cards, buy now, pay later, and payment plans convince you that future money is already yours when it's actually not. It's future labor you've already spent, and every time you swipe for something you didn't need, you're agreeing to work extra hours later for something you won't even care about. If you're financing convenience, entertainment, clothes, you're not building a life, you're borrowing one. The third habit is paying yourself last, which guarantees you'll never get ahead. People tell me they'll save what's left over, and I already know the answer before I look at their accounts because there's never anything left. Wealth is built by force, not intention, which means saving and investing happens automatically first, not when it feels comfortable. And comfort is not the goal, control is. The fourth habit is death by 1,000 cuts. The subscriptions, the apps, the memberships, the fees, the upgrades that you forgot that you signed up for. We're all guilty of this. Individually, they look small, which is why people ignore them, but collectively, they're devastating. I regularly see accounts leaking hundreds of dollars a month to things that provide almost zero value. And when you factor in what that money could have become if it were invested consistently, you're not losing money. You're losing years of your life working longer than you need to. If you're enjoying the video so far, hit that like button and subscribe so we can stay connected. The fifth habit is single source dependency. And this is where people confuse stability with safety. One paycheck is not security, it's exposure. And if your entire financial life depends on one employer, one industry, or one rule, you're far from more fragile than you think. Wealthy households don't rely on hope. They rely on redundancy, and that means at least one additional income stream that exists whether your boss likes you or not. You don't need to be flashy. You don't need to be resilient. And an extra $500 a month earned independently changes your decision-making power immediately. The sixth habit is financial illiteracy. And this is one of the most expensive because people wear it like a badge of honor. Money follows rules, and refusing to learn those rules doesn't make you virtuous. It makes you vulnerable. Inflation punishes cash. Taxes punish ignorance. And compound interest only works for people who understand time and consistency. If you don't know how to work these forces together, you'll almost always feel like you're running uphill, no matter how hard you work. None of these habits feel dangerous today, which is exactly why they're so effective at keeping people stuck. But what if you correct them now, aggressively and intentionally? You don't just end up with more money. You end up with leverage, options, and that is the real definition of wealth. I know this list feels heavy, and realizing you've been caught in these traps can feel like you've wasted years. But here's the truth my wealthy clients understand, and most people don't. Your financial past does not dictate your financial future. You can undo 5 years of bad habits with 6 months of aggressive focus because the math works if you do the work. Where most people fail is trying to fix all 6 habits at once. They get overwhelmed and they quit by Tuesday. So don't do that. Pick one habit from this list, just one, and master it for 30 days. When you stop bleeding in one area, the confidence and momentum you gain will fund the rest. Now, if you're looking at this list and realizing your real problem isn't spending, but simply not making enough money, then you have an income problem, not a savings problem. And I'm breaking that down for you in another video, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.